Hey there, PCC. Today I want to talk to you about protein. So, protein is one of those food groups that's incredibly important to the functioning of our body. It's considered like a building block of our muscles and our organs, our bones, and our skin. It helps build and repair our tissues, and then it's also involved in the process of making hormones and neurotransmitters. So, it's incredibly important that we get enough so that our body can work properly. Where we get those sources of protein is going to be different from person to person. The variety of options is really wide, which is awesome. So we have two main categories. We've got animal-based proteins and plant-based proteins. Our animal-based group are going to be those things that we commonly think of when we think about protein. That's like eggs and cheese, yogurt, red meat, so like ground beef or steak, chicken, turkey, fish products. Our plant-based proteins are things like beans and lentils, nuts and seeds. Whole grains have proteins in them, and they're in that plant-based category. And even some vegetables have, it's lower amounts, but they do have some protein in them as well. So our variety of options is really wide, and we want to make sure when we're building our plates for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as when we're making our snacks, is that we're trying to include multiple different protein options, that we don't just want to get them all from one thing, from the same thing, that we want to pull in those whole grains and maybe add some seeds and nuts to something. And of course, like we talked about in one video, eating more vegetables in our days. The one thing that people are kind of surprised about with protein is that we actually get more than we need. And so that comes from our perception of what a serving size is. So we've got some really quick examples, good visuals for how we can gauge when we're looking at our plate. Am I getting enough protein, or do I have too much on my plate for that serving size? So with our animal proteins, and particularly like our meat, so if you're eating a piece of chicken or a steak or even a burger, one serving size is about 3 to 3.5 ounces. And what that visual would be is looking at the palm of your hand. So the size of the palm of your hand, as well as the thickness of it, that's going to be one single serving size. If you're wanting a different visual for that, you can also look at a deck of cards, just a normal deck of cards. The size and the thickness of the deck of cards is going to be one single serving size of that piece of chicken or that burger. If you're eating like some peanut butter or a handful of nuts and seeds, one serving size of that is going to be about the same size and shape as a golf ball. And then if you've got like some beans or whole grains, or even some yogurt, that's about half a cup is going to be one single serving, and that is the size and the shape of a tennis ball. So when you're looking at your plate and you're trying to decide, do I have enough protein? Do I have too much protein? Kind of thinking of those different visuals to gauge whether or not you've got what is a healthy amount for that particular meal. I hope that this tip is helpful. I'll be back with another one next week. Have a really awesome day. Have a great week. I will talk to you soon.